Well, here we are, thoughts from the office. Had some interesting conversations here lately about raccoons and raccoon pups. And I'm just going to make a small, short video, I promise. It's going to be short. But it's raccoon pups being adopted by other sow raccoons. Many years ago, as we would get into June, July, and I would go on these raccoon jobs before I really started doing eviction. And what I would see happen, it was confusing at first, was I would have two distinct size cubs in the same litter. And I'm not talking about like one run and then the rest of them bigger. I'm talking about 2 or 3 little ones and then 2 or 3 noticeably bigger ones. And I was confused on that. So I started to suspect adoption, if you will. And what really got me onto this was I had a job or two where I caught the female and had her, but we couldn't find the pups. Then we would find the pups in the soffit area. You could hear them from outside in the soffit area. And before I could get back the next day to find them, you couldn't hear the pups anymore. And we all, think they died or something like that. But the customer said a raccoon came and took the pups out. And I remember saying, I got the female. So I started to suspect things at that point, a lot. And I did a couple experiments, if you will, where I knew I had a sow raccoons denning in a tree or so. And again, I do a lot of stuff out there, so I would find a den location where I knew there was a sow and she had some pups in the tree, and I would take 1 or 2 pups and put them near that tree, and I would see that sow raccoon would come and grab those pups and adopt them. Yeah, I know. But anyway, this is how you learned way back when, okay? This is how you figured things out way back when. Now, that same thing is if you put the pups out somewhere and a boar came by, he killed them. All right, so you couldn't just take a box and put pups out there and expect to say, if the first raccoon threw was a sow and she had already had a family unit, she might adopt them, and then if the next one was a boar, well, there was not going to be any to adopt. So this is stuff that I had to pick up way back in the 80s and the 90s. We had to figure this stuff out way back in the 80s and the 90s. And to this day, I bet you there's not a research program or research that's been done on that. And if there is, I'd love to hear about it. But that's just a little trivia on some raccoons' behavior. And again, when we're talking, if you hear me talking about training, I'm always preaching behavior, behavior, behavior. Habits, yes. Behavior, more important. I hope you get a little bit out of that. That was just a little nonsense type video, just for information for the wildlife control person. Thoughts from the office, Redneck's Pride Outdoors. I'll leave it there.